So I just got out of work, and once again, it's going to be a little too late to do a walk around the trailer park. And this is another edition of Walking Home from Work. I hope you like all the clever titles. I put a lot of thought into it. Just opened my mouth and out it came. Anyhow, so today went a lot smoother. I think a huge part of it was down to the fact that I was actually able to complete the one task my store manager gave me, and I had enough time left over to start something else. And I know it's not going to be like that every night, but what is especially glaring about today, and I mean glaring in a good way, today was the first of the month. And after 6 years of working at Walmart, where the first of the month is like a zoo where you're not sure if you're the exhibit or the inmate, or no. Walmart on the first of the month is like a zoo where you're not sure if you're the visitor or the exhibit. There we go, much better. Anyway, here I am expecting my new job to be the same way, and yet, strangely, it happened in surges. There would be like a steady 10 minutes of customers and then almost an hour of being able to focus on recovery or zoning or making the store look less like somebody robbed it, and I was actually blown away. I don't know if this is, I was filled with all kinds of doom and gloom about the first of the month, and this was the first time I didn't regret working on that day. And it's a holiday week too. So you figure a lot of people are going to be shopping, getting ready for the 4th of July. But I just realized, no, Walmart is absorbing all the scum in the town. That's where everybody's going to get all their stuff and get all their barbecue stuff and all their deals and stuff like that. So naturally, Walmart is going to get slammed on this of all weeks. So they sure showed me when they terminated me. Whew, boy, they taught me a lesson. I sure hope they enjoy having one less person working that day. Anyway, moving on. I'm not even bitter, because one look at the Walmart subreddit tells me that the entire corporation is really fishing for any reason to terminate people and get rid of anybody, really. Which is weird, because the company made a conscientious decision not to use robots in any of their stores. So no robotic sweepers, no robotic zoners. If you've been to a store recently and you saw one of those tall robots riding around, Walmart decided they were not going to have any of those. But they sure don't want to have the adequate amount of human employees on the floor either. So I'm convinced that the corporation or DMs or GMs across the country have been telling their stores to start lightening the load as much as possible and to fire as many people as legally as etiquette will allow. But that's just me having a little conspiracy theory there. Sorry if this is your first time. I'm just kind of pulling my pants up. I don't know if I've gone down a pant size or if the belt loop has worn out, but one thing is for certain: when I'm walking, I definitely have to stop every few minutes to pull my pants up or risk getting an exposure charge. Anyhow, so I'll tell you something that happened as I was getting closer to home. I almost startled a skunk, and I'm probably one of the few people on earth who genuinely doesn't have a problem with skunks. I actually think they're awesome creatures. A lot of people will act like the skunk is deliberately going out of its way to spray you. Like, oh man, I've got a quota here. I am so far behind. I need somebody's day to ruin. And that's just not the truth. I don't know if you know this or not, but skunks actually have a very limited amount of their spray, and it takes their bodies quite a while to produce it. So they will only spray as a very last resort. Nature has, the skunk has evolved so that anybody or anything that sees it knows to cut it a wide berth. The white stripes are pretty much the warning sign, and it will hiss, and like this is what this one did. I got so close to it, not on purpose. I startled it so that it hissed at me, and then it tried to attack. It actually lunged at me, and it didn't chase me, so it wasn't rabid. Like it was scaring me away, and it worked. But obviously, I paid attention before I got sprayed. So I don't know. I'm beginning to think that the majority of cases where somebody got sprayed had to have been a time when you weren't listening to the very obvious warning signs that it was giving you, you know? And that's pretty much the case with any animal. Like, most animals will either try to avoid you or they'll give you adequate warning, and you just have to not be stupid. And then again, some animals will eat you in predation, but those are surprisingly rare. There's only like a handful of species in the world that will go out of their way to hunt humans for food. And that's okay, because we need competition. I definitely think our species, we have long since negated our right to be the dominant species on this planet. And it's high time we stepped aside and let something else take over. I'm not going to get into too much about that, but all I'm going to say is bring on the squibbins. And if you don't know that reference, well, it's pretty obscure, but anyway. Whew. Let's see. What else to talk about? I don't pay attention too much to what's going on in the media. Boogie8988 did something, and I don't care. He is less relevant to me now than he was before I knew who he was. I don't know. I'm just sort of rambling at this stage. What else went on today? Played Fortnite with the boys again. This time we were actually able to FaceTime, so that while we were playing Fortnite, we were actually able to communicate over the phone, over the video phone. And we actually made it all the way to second place on trios, which is very rare for us because the grand nibblings, the two nephews, they're 5 and 8 respectively. And getting them to coordinate can be a bit of a challenge. And their mother does not want them using the voice feature on the Switch, which I definitely don't blame her, because there are people out there, even if you eliminate the people who would not go out of their way to actively harm somebody, there's a lot of stuff going on in that voice chat that she doesn't want her kids exposed to, which I fully respect. So when we're playing trios or we're playing squads, it can be really hard to coordinate with each other, because if I'm trying to stay with the boys and one of them decides to split up, like, I've got to make the decision, do I stick with the younger one or the older one? And so much of the game is also trying to anticipate how they'll react. Like, if I don't stay with the younger one, he'll be upset and say I was being mean. But then if the older one gets surrounded by a bunch of other players and we're not there to back him up, he's going to feel left out. And even when they live a whole other town away, I can still hear the argument that is happening when one of them abandons the other. And it's frustrating sometimes. So today, getting to play over FaceTime was an extra treat, just because we were actually able to communicate. And what else? I think that's pretty much it. I try to keep this thing to a certain time limit, except when I have lots of stuff to talk about. But today, I think I'm just going to keep it under 10 minutes. So as always, thank you for watching this all the way to the end. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for sharing this with a friend or on your social media. Please feel free to show your support by kicking in a few dollars to my Patreon. You can also make a one-time donation through PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. My screen name is The Grim Retails on both of those apps, and my PayPal is listed on the main website, is listed down below. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Be safe. Treat each other with dignity and respect.